What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today we have another interview, this time with a top 8 competitor from Salt Lake City. It is Nick, who played, I guess, what would you say this? Arceus birds? Like Arceus chickens? Like I've heard several different
I'm
names.
calling it Arceus Checkmate, actually, but we can get
Ooh,
into the reasoning behind that.
there we go. All right, so we have Nick with us. So Nick, if you just introduce yourself real quick, talk about you, maybe some accomplishments, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm Nick. I've been playing since I was like 10 or so, but with a few breaks in there. I'm a sophomore at Cornell currently, and just placed top 4 at Salt Lake City. Have a bunch of other day twos, but this is my first like big breakout performance.
All right, cool. So before COVID hit and stuff like that, did you have any points like going into this, or were you just like fresh new, like we're starting 2022 with no points?
Yeah, so I was at 330 uh coming into now, so now I'm 40 points away from it.
Oh, congrats! All right, cool. So imagine like a lot of pressure going to this tournament, for sure. Like trying to get grind those last points out.
I mean,
Um,
I'm going to every other NA regional, so it's not like any too much pressure on anyone.
okay,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's cool. Yeah. All right, so going into this deck, RCS. I saw some lists beforehand. I think like even Brisbane had, I think like maybe a deck like this played in top
Yeah.
8. I think maybe top 16 or something. But how did you come up with this deck before like the actual tournament?
Yeah. So a few weeks before, I was working on this like Arceus, Suicune, Galarian Moltres, Galarian Zapdos deck with no Inteleon. I put Suicune instead and then Melanie to try to power everyone up. But it turned out it was just too inconsistent. So I was like, okay, I'll just wait on the results from Brisbane, see what comes out of there. And I saw third place was Peter Lowe's Arceus Moltres Inteleon deck. He didn't have the Zapdos. And then I was testing with that list, and I saw, okay, he only has one energy search and like 8 darkness energy. You know, you don't need this many energy. You're never going to run out. So you want more energy search. And then when I was playing against Mew, the Hoopa was useless because they would always just have Oricorio. And so I was like, okay, we'll make this a Zapdos for a better Arceus and Gengar matchup. And then I think so I changed those. I put in the Cape, Zapdos, Fighting, and Energy Search, shipped that list to Ian, and then from there I changed Quick Shooting Inteleon for a second Shady Dealings, and he made it a Pal Pad. And Ian also ended up placing top 8 um, for that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like both y'all pretty much play the same 60 and like both got
Yeah,
top
59
8.
cards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
I got top 4, got top 8.
Yeah. So, looking at the list, were you after cutting the Hoopa, were you concerned at all about maybe like Urshifu or any fighting decks coming out of there? Because I know that's probably why the Hoopa was in there for like the Urshifu decks.
Wait, why would that be?
Uh,
No, sorry, Hoopa Basic. It's you
oh,
just wanted the
it's not the Hoopa V thing.
No, the
Oh,
list
okay.
never played that.
I
Well, I
got you.
mean, I think you just concede to Urshifu, but I wouldn't be worried about it when 45% of day 2 is Mew. I don't think it has a chance of doing anything unless the Mew numbers drop down significantly.
No, okay, I got you. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I saw like an Arceus deck with Hoopa V, but maybe I'm just like crazy at
Yeah,
this
there.
point.
Okay, so that's actually what I had originally been working with. Like probably a month ago, it was doing well in some online tournaments. That was like
Hmm.
no Inteleon, like 4-3 Arceus, Moltres V, Hoopa V, Zapdos V, some other random stuff. So I saw that list, and then that's what prompted me to make the one with Suicune. I was like, okay, so we need Melanie so that we can go aggro against Mew and trade prizes with them, but then the deck just wasn't consistent enough. So,
Got
but
you.
with
Okay.
Inteleon Engine, it is. So,
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
everything happened like so quick with between like Brisbane and Salt Lake City. I didn't really have time to like look at the
yeah,
top 8 that well.
yeah.
I
They only had the deck 5 days before, maybe.
got you. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's pretty cool. A pretty quick pickup. Now the night before, were you like testing it, or were you still like on the fence, or was like another
yeah.
deck that?
I didn't play any games. Uh, the 2 days before, or like 24 hours, more than 24 hours before I didn't play at all. So.
So like round 1 was like your first time ever playing the deck, right?
No. I had
Oh,
practiced against myself. I'd never played against another opponent with the deck. I'd just been practicing against myself, against Mew, against Arceus, um, some other random stuff.
got you. And like when you're self practicing? Was there like any chance, like any time you're like, okay, this is probably not it, or was like your testing like going like significantly well?
Oh no, it went great. Like I was beating Mew 9 times out of 10. The only time I would lose was when I went drop S. Like,
Gotcha.
and that's what happened in the tournament too. Basically, the only time I went to Mew was when I went drop S.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
speak of the tournament, day one. How did I guess the first question is like, how does it feel like going back into a regional is not playing for 2 years?
It felt normal, but also good. Like it was like, oh yeah, this is normal. Okay, we're here playing some Pokemon. You know,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
rounds just kept coming. You know.
And then, so how did day one go overall though?
So day one, I ended first seed at 801.
Jeez.
I think I played. I have my matchups here. Should I just go one by one or?
Yeah, yeah. You could talk about the matchups, how they went, and you can talk about like how they went, and if there's anything like super significant you want to point out and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So round one was against Arceus Whimsicott. That was kind of weird, but he has the hammers. He flipped heads on those, and that made it a little scary, but I don't think it was a very good deck, so it was fine. I won that one 2-0. And then the next one was against Arceus Inteleon. It was his first ever tournament. I think it looks like I lost the first one and then won the second two. I probably just drew past the first game. But something funny I remember from that one, he tried to scoop up net his Arceus. But yeah, it was his first ever
Yeah,
tournament.
yeah.
And
First tournament jitters, I guess, right? Yeah.
yeah. But he seemed decent enough. Yeah. And then round three was versus Mew, 2-0 that. Round four was my tie of the day. That was against Rapid Strike Inteleon VMAX. So what they do is they hit for 140 and then pick up the energy and then Cheryl. And so I can never win because they just keep healing and I can never one shot until they're down to one prize, right?
I gotcha. Yeah.
And so the only reason I got a tie that game was because in game two he got a double prize loss for I think using artillery when he didn't when I just bossed artillery and KO'd it, and then he tried to use artillery rapid strike search, got a card, and we didn't realize until like the end of his turn. So that was a
Um,
double prize loss, and then I was able to win because of that. So a bit unfortunate on his part. That seems like an auto loss for me, but I don't think the deck is very good overall, so I wouldn't worry about it. Round five was versus Chris Szymanski on Mew. Um, I think I bricked the first one and then won the second two. I remember the third game we were both draw passing, and then I was just able to manually like attach 3 times to Moltres V and knock out his only his only what's it called? Genesect.
Genesect? Yeah.
Yeah, we both had no supporter, and I just went 3 times manually attached to Moltres V and knock him out. So that was kind of funny, but yeah.
It's interesting because, like, in that scenario, you're like, my attacker is always better than your Genesect because you're never going to attack with the guy, really.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, he had absolutely nothing. Yeah, he had nothing in his hand, and then his draw he showed me was Battle Pass uh, on the second turn, so he can't use that one anymore. But yeah, okay. And then round six and seven were both against Mew. I don't remember either of those clearly, but it looks like they were both 2-1. I think probably yeah, I think I just bricked the games that I lost those, and then Gengar. Uh, in round eight was a 2-1. I think I prized one of the fighting package, either the Zapdos or the fighting in game two, and that's why I lost that one because you don't really have much other answer. You know, they can one shot your Arceus, and so you kind of rely on the Zapdos in that matchup, and
mhm.
then Baby Moltres late game to clean up. And then round nine it was against Gengar, was a 2-0. So was going into day two, first seed, 801, had to felt pretty good about that. So I only had to win I could go like 2-2 on day two and then ID. So yeah.
Now going into day two after like the Inteleon VMAX, are you like pretty confident that your all your matchups are good? Like looking at the day two brackets, or was there anything there that you were kind of scared of?
Everything seemed fine other than that really. The only thing I didn't want to face was well, so they had one guy as RC no, sorry, it was Durant Don Fan Altaria, but that ended up not being true. He was just Arceus Malamar, and that was my opponent the first round. And then the other deck that I was scared of was Suicune, but other than that, everything seemed fine. Like we're fine with Mew, we're fine with any Arceus, because I knew none of them were playing uh, Dunsparce.
Okay. Yeah.
The group the deck that group of 6 people brought. And even the one I beat in round 2 had a Dunsparce, and I was still able to win that one, so I wasn't too concerned either way.
Got you.
Um, and then there was lots of Mew, and that matchup can always be scary because if you have a slow start, they can just kind of roll you over. But if you set up, it's fine.
Got you. So how did like all the round? I mean, you talked a lot about the round 2, but what exactly like did the decks you play against and stuff? How did it go?
Sorry, what?
I said, so like with day 2. Sorry, I said round
Oh,
2.
day 2. Yeah,
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 day
yeah.
2. Sorry, I said round 2. But yeah, with day 2, like I know you talked about a little bit of rounds, but how did it like go overall with like all the matchups
Sure.
and stuff?
But yeah, day 2, I ended up going. I lost the first one against Arceus Malamar. So I made a very simple mistake in the first game. I had Training Court in play, and I hadn't attached return yet, and I could have just brought an energy from the discard and attached it, and I would have been able to just attach next turn and be fine. But I forgot to do that, and so I lost that one because of that. And then game 2, I just went like draw pass, and he just
Mm.
blocked. I had no hand because he took it all away with Malamar. So lost the first one in day 2, but still 8-1-1, and then I just won 1-2-0 against Mew after that, and then round 12 was against Isaiah Bradner with the Arceus Inteleon list that I was talking about, that they don't play Dunsparce, and I was able to 2-0 him pretty cleanly, and then just ID the last 2.
I got you. And so like talking about the Arceus Inteleon deck, if they had included Dunsparce, like do you think that changes it like a lot, or is it just like you just take out the Dunsparce and you're good to go?
Yeah, it makes it harder. You have to take a turn to boss the Dunsparce, right? And then you kind of like they can play where they don't put down Dunsparce until you put down Zapdos. And then they could get like a free hit on your Zapdos or something, so it could definitely make it trickier, but I think it's still okay.
Got you. Okay. And earlier you said like I'm pretty sure you said this is like the first like time you like made top 8 or like top 4 at a
Yeah, this
regionals.
is my first top 8 at regionals, yeah.
Oh,
I
congrats.
I'd come close. I'd come one win away twice before,
Got
but
you.
this was the first time actually making top 8, yeah. So that was very happy about that.
Yeah. And then like looking at the bracket, were you like happy to see what you hit, or
Oh
like
yeah,
how does that work?
absolutely. So the first round in top 8 was going to be against Gengar, and then if I won that, which I did, I would either play against Suicune or Arceus and Inteleon, whichever won that, and it ended up being Suicune.
Got you. All right.
Yeah.
So how did the Gengar matchup go in top 8?
Um, I lost game 1 actually because I literally he went first and I went Arceus pass and he knocked it out. So I was like, dang, we can't have that happen again. But then the other 2 games were how it usually goes, which is it's close, but you usually have the game pretty locked to like it'll be close on prizes. Um, but you have it basically guaranteed because you can have Moltres one shot of Emax basically at the end if you need to, because they put damage on themselves and you can hit for 220 or 270 and then 300 with a choice fan, and then you're gonna have at least 20 damage on them.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool though.
And you can take a free knockout with Zapdos too, and yeah, definitely a favorable matchup for it.
I got you. So when you got paired against Suicune, I know you said that's one of the matchups you didn't want to hit. Like,
Yeah,
what was
that
like,
one was
what
fun.
was going through your mind though? Like, you're like, I got the worst matchup, whatever.
No, I mean, I knew it was still winnable for sure. I was like, okay, it's just another game of Pokemon, we're gonna figure this one out. Like, all my other matchups had been relatively easy until this. This was other than the Arceus Malamar, but that was just because I misplayed. Um, and then yeah, against Suicune, I just rewatched the match yesterday, and I realized I had made some mistakes that I think I could have won the game, won the match otherwise. But so in game 1, it was really close. I think he was able to win at the end because he was able to Echoing Horn my Arceus V from the discard and then cross switcher it up. And so I literally had played Klara the turn before and gotten like a Sobble and an Inteleon, and I could have just gotten the Arceus out of my discard. And I think I was okay. So it kind of sucks to make that mistake. But I don't think I knew he played Echoing Horn, but there was no reason for me not to play around it because I ended up just like quick balling away the Sobble again anyway. So I could have just quick balled another card. Like my hand was pretty huge, so there was no reason not to just grab the Arceus out of the discard. So that was because I should have assumed that there's a chance he plays it, and I have this game locked as long as I grab the Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
And then game two, I kind of ran him over. Being able to go first is huge in that matchup because you can just KO a Suicune before they can even, do anything really. And so I was able to do that, just power up another guy on the bench, and there was really nothing he could do from there. And then game three, I kind of like drew past for 2 turns, and he was able to get 3 prizes up. And then, but I was still able to make a play where I used Galarian Moltres to like leave him with 40 health left, and then I could double quick shooting it later. But I messed up and forgot I had Cape of Toughness in my hand, and he didn't have a Lotad down, so he wouldn't be able. And I only had one bench, so he's only doing 120, 140. So if I had the Cape of Toughness, he wouldn't be able to knock me out, and he would have to boss around it, and I would still have it for next turn. But I quick balled away the Cape of Toughness because I just assumed, oh, this thing's knocked out for sure, because it usually is.
Yeah.
But so I think there's a lot of things you can do in the matchup to make it better, and I think it's pretty even, maybe even slightly favored if I play perfectly. But I did make those 2 big mistakes, in games 1 and 3, and that kind of cost me the top 4 match.
I got you. I think it's like one of those things too. Like like you said, you didn't know what he played. So I guess it's hard to like kind of determine that too. And it's like, I guess like
there was no reason for me not to play around Echoing Horn in game 1, like I said, and then game 2, I just assumed, oh, this guy's for sure getting knocked out. But if I put the Cape of Toughness, it would have actually survived, guaranteed. So.
And you're talking about, when you're talking about Moltres, you're talking about the Galarian Moltres or the V, I guess.
The baby,
The
yeah,
baby.
because he only
Okay.
has 120, but 170 with a Cape of Toughness. And so if he has a full bench, he's doing 120, and then I had one guy on my bench, so he would do 140. And he didn't
Gotcha.
have low pad, so he couldn't go. And even if he did, I should use it so that he has to waste a rare candy, Ludicolo, and makes it harder for him to do it again later.
True. Yeah, yes. At first I thought you were about Galarian Moltres V. I was like, yeah, there's no way that's getting knocked out to begin with. But like, yeah, the baby
No.
Moltres, you're like, oh yeah, it's like done. It's game over.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was a silly assumption on my part. And then even then, I was nearly able to. Yeah, that game started off so bad. I went like Sobble in the active, Arceus on the bench, no energy pass. And then even I would have been able to get an attack off if my Raihan wasn't prized. Because I had like quick ball energy, and then I could have got the Raihan in a double turbo, whatnot. Yeah. So that, but then the Raihan was prized in game 3, and so I couldn't get an attack off. And then he was able to one-shot my Arceus V STAR with Ludicolo, Echoing Horn, Choice Band, 290 or whatever. It was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Suicune deck is really sick. But yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, that was definitely the best games I had. Was in the top 4 match. Those were definitely the closest, and it just came down to one mistake in each game. But yeah, I really tried not to let the pressure of the stream get to me, but obviously it definitely did, because I don't think those are mistakes I would have made otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting too, because like your first time like ever being streamed, I forgot about that too. Like,
yeah, it was my first time on stream. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to get used to like the white noise, right? That's another thing
Yeah.
too that people don't really talk about. Like, it definitely is like you can't think that well, or like how big the table is, or something like that. Or
I don't think the white noise bothered me that much, but the table was huge. That was something.
yeah, that's the first time I've seen that table that big before. So
Oh, it's even bigger. It's usually not that big. Okay.
I don't remember it being that big. I've only played on stream twice, and it's been a little while, so I don't recall it being that big though. So, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's been a while, like I said too.
Yeah.
I know for me, the white noise was definitely like the thing that always like got me. So
Yeah, I was like, this is fine, but yeah, it definitely was noticeable for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah, but still,
Overall,
be top four regionals. Like, congratulations,
no
that's sick.
complaints at all. Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So you got the nice new medal and everything too. So yeah, it's
I
sick.
do have a medal, yeah.
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. Like I said, congratulations though.
Thank you.
Um. Now,
Did you want to go into any specific card choices in the
yeah.
list? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
so that's what I was going to talk about real quick. So this Arceus deck, when you're using like Trinity Nova and stuff, like, are
yeah,
you ever like necessarily like powering up like the Galarian Moltres V, or are you always just powering up like other Arceus? How do you like?
totally depends on the matchup, right? So against like Arceus and Inteleon, you want a Trinity Nova on, or against Gengar, usually you want a Trinity Nova onto your Caped Zapdos. Um, Against Mew, there are some situations where you want a Trinity Nova onto your big Moltres, the Moltres V.
Mm-hmm,
It's not like that often, but if you get ahead, like if you go first, they just like knock out a Sobble. Then a lot of times you'll want to KO with Arceus and power up Moltres V on the bench so that you can answer their Mew. Or like they have to, and like you can put a cape on it, so like they have to have boss plus a bunch of modifiers. And even that, and then they would go down to 3 prizes, so you could just KO with Baby Moltres after that. Um, so you just kind of set up a checkmate scenario doing that, and then a lot of times you'll just have the only one Arceus in play because you only play 4 basic Vs.
mm-hmm.
So a lot of times you'll like, even though you already have 3 energy on the active, you'll just like put 2 more, so that when you get knocked out, you can like Klara and attack with the Baby Moltres. So it totally depends on the situation, and I think one thing I wouldn't recommend this deck to like someone who's like a beginner or mediocre at the game, because there are so many different plays you can make in situations that come up, and you have to, I feel like you have to play pretty close to perfectly to, you know, do well with the deck. Whereas some other things like maybe Gengar, it's super straightforward and you can just go in with Gengar and attack. There's not too much thinking you have to do.
Yeah, I would agree with that completely because I had one friend that was contemplating playing like an RC's like V Star chicken deck, like whatever. But I was like, hey man, that's like a lot of thinking you gotta do for like 14, 15 rounds if you make it that far. So like, I don't recommend it. Just like play like
Yeah,
Mew or
like
something.
me, who made the list, was making misplays in top four, so
Yeah.
that cost me the game, right? Like I don't think I would have. I think I had the game if I hadn't made those mistakes.
And like you said too, there's only two RCs and like stuff like that. So you have to be like really conscious of like what you're doing with your energies and like just like randomly putting down Pokemon and stuff too because you don't play that
Yeah,
many.
yeah.
Um, Now looking at the list, did I know it's gonna be like spicy and just because I play like Arceus a lot. Did you ever wish you had like energy switches to get like, oh, I missed the energy turn one on Arceus, but now I have the energy
With
switch to get the
Moltres
beast.
V Energy Switch. I mean, there's the one Raihan for the. Well, the Raihan is for 2 things. If you miss energy on Moltres, or if you miss energy on Arceus turn one, or against Mew to be able to. I guess it's just a great card. The Raihan's amazing.
Yeah,
It does
yeah.
so many. So if you miss energy on Arceus, you can go Raihan, double turbo, attach, choice band, whatever. Um, Attack with Trinity Nova. Against Mew, if they go in with Mew VMAX and they have less than, but it's only like their first or second prize, you can go Moltres V, Raihan, Fire Flame Wings, attach, knock out Mew VMAX, even though they've only taken 1 or 2 prizes.
Mhm.
Or just, as your late game, if you already used your Baby Moltres, whatever. And then obviously Zapdos, if they have only 2 Vs in play, you could go Zapdos, Raihan, Energy, knockout against like Gengar, for example, or
Yeah.
other Arceus. And
So
then, of course, Aqua Bullet is a big attack a lot of times on the Shady Dealings in
hmm.
Teleon. Against, if they try to, that comes up against Mew a lot. If they try to go like double Meloetta, you can go KO the first one with Baby Moltres, KO the second one with Aqua Bullet or something like. And so you're not feeding them any 2 prizes. And
Gotcha.
then if they try to go Mew, you can go for the Raihan combo on Big Moltres.
And that's pretty cool too. Like you said, like the Raihan, like because you play like the one fighting, one water, and stuff like that, so it makes it, like really spicy, like all of a sudden stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's why it's like, oh, you definitely have to play two energy search because you have three different types of energies.
all right, so no to energy switch because we have Raihan.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, sure, like, but there's no room.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, because you
But
already
like,
got like one Scoop Up Net, one Ultra Ball, one Escape
there
Rope.
are other cards I want in the deck, but there's just no room.
All right, so that brings up an interesting point. What cards would you add to the deck if you could for some reason?
Another choice band, tool scrapper, another scoop up net, another Raihan. What else? There's tons of things that you could potentially want.
Yeah. Did you?
But yeah, I don't think any of the cards are cuttable, like at least not obviously. A third boss could be nice, like yeah. But every card seems like you need it, so I don't know what I could possibly, take out of the deck
No, I
that I feel
got
like
you.
every card you need. Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems like so spicy. Like and like you said, it's hard to play too because you have the one net, the one ultra ball, the one escape rope, the one choice ball, the one
Yeah, I mean,
cape.
I checked all six prizes every game because it's that important, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Like if you're missing one thing, that completely changes the course of the game you have to take to be able to win. Like, oh, my scoop up net's prized. Okay, I can't do this play as easily, or anything really.
Now you had mentioned that you want to call the deck Checkmate. Why? Why?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why would you call it Checkmate deck?
Yeah. So like I said against Mew, you just kind of want to set up situations where even if they go for psychic leap, or even if they go like triple one prizer, that you have all the cards in hand to be able to win because you can go like double one prize, or you just have so many options to be able to secure like a guaranteed win basically, but then you have to play those lines perfectly.
True.
Maybe it's not the best name ever. It just feels like Arceus, Moltres, Zapdos, Inteleon's like a lot of things, and like it feels when I played the deck 14 rounds or whatever, I felt myself like, okay, okay, I'm setting up this checkmate position in this game, and so that's kind of where I got the name from.
No, no, I always like that name too with Checkmate because you're like, okay, I win. Like I got Checkmate on board. What you got? Like it doesn't
It's not even
matter.
necessarily on board, yeah, but
Yeah,
like okay, they can Marnie you, but then all you need to draw is like one level ball to get Evo Incense for shady dealings and get the cards you need or whatever. Like, I don't know.
got you. All right, so is so in the end, would you say Claire is your favorite supporter card, or is Raihan your favorite supporter card?
Oh, definitely Klara. Um, it's very important in the Mii matchup to put your V's back in your hand so that they can't echo horn them. It's like if you usually, if you go first, you go on with Arceus. If you go second, usually like keep calling. Um, but yeah, so if they knock out your first Arceus, you really have to Klara that back. And like I said, that's what ended up me losing the top four game was I didn't Klara back my Arceus, and he was able to echo and horn
Got you.
and
Okay.
take the last two prizes off that. Yeah,
Sorry, my cat decided to
that's
wanted
right.
to want to join the video. So, all right. So I know right now as this video is posted, Liverpool's going on. Would
Yeah,
you play the same 60 if you were going there by any chance?
likely, yeah. Definitely the same deck. And most likely the same 60 because, like I said, I can't find any cards that I can possibly cut. So,
I got you. All right,
Yep.
and so
But
looking.
again, like I said, I wouldn't recommend that you just pick it up the night before. So yeah.
Yeah, I got you. But
Unless
like,
you're like a top 1% player, then maybe you could.
looking forward, like in the meta shifts, like I don't know, like what more Gengars? I mean, you got the Zapdos, like you said. So like I said, it really doesn't matter. More Arceus. Well, you got the Zapdos, like you said. So I guess
Yeah, I feel fine in all of those matchups.
yeah. All right. So I guess like what the next regionals is? You said EUIC, right?
Yeah, not a regionals, obviously
Oh yeah,
international
yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's the next tournament for me is the UIC.
Yeah. And have you been to like Europe for any of those championships yet, or no?
Not for a tournament, no. I've been just for travel, but yeah, not to play. So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we'll have to see if you still want to stick with the RC's, checkmate deck, or if there's something else that comes up. It'd be really interesting to see. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna play this unless I find something, but maybe I will find something better. So we'll see.
yeah. All right. So outside of that, well, how many points you said? It was like 40 points away.
Yeah, so I'm at 460 now
460. Okay.
after this weekend.
Yeah. Have you been to like multiple worlds yet, or?
I've been to 3, and then I qualified for a 4th one, but wasn't able to go because I had a wedding the same weekend or whatever.
Gotcha. So you're like
Yeah.
super experienced at worlds too, but I mean, being in Europe, like that's the first one ever. Like it's got to be exciting, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. I'm looking forward to going back to London. I've been a few times.
Got you.
It's a really nice
That's pretty
experience.
cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about the list that you think people would have questions about, or you think we pretty much covered it?
Yeah, I think I covered it. You just got Arceus for the early game, Moltres for the late game, and then the 2 Vs for whatever different situations, and then Inteleon is just there for consistency. Um, kind of maxed out. Ball count's not really. I guess you could play more Evolution Incense, but yeah. And then I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got the Cape of Toughness for Zapdos, Choice Band hit 210 with Arceus, Air Balloons because you got to retreat your guys, supporters. I think all makes sense.
Yeah.
And then
No,
yeah.
I think it's really good. All right. So outside the RCs, is there deck you want to give anybody like shout outs or credit anybody or anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start offering coaching. If you're interested, just DM me. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas Moffitt 2. So Nicholas Moffit 2. Um, and yeah, I'm working on setting up like a official website for it, but just DM me for now, I guess. I'm getting figure out a time if you're interested.
Got you. And it would be like, it's not like a Metafy thing yet. It's just like you're just gonna do a website.
No, I was working on making my own website for it. I'm gonna try to get some other people on there too. So,
Got you. Okay, that's pretty cool. And I'll have a link down below too, guys, to help you out with that. Get straight to his Twitter page as well too. So I'm down with doing that. So,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm pretty good.
Cool.
I appreciate you doing the interview and congratulations. Getting top 4 and everything else. I mean, like I said, it's still exciting. First regionals come back, top 4. You're like, I got this. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. You have a great day. Thanks for you joining. And hey, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Alrighty. Bye.
Make sure to subscribe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I always forget, subscribe, bell, whistle, whatever. To do this for too long. Alrighty, guys. Bye.